love ECU?
Do you bleed purple and gold?
Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Watch the show live on Facebook
and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome into a new week. It is a Monday. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We'll recap the NFL championship weekends. We get another Patriots-Seahawks Super Bowl. We'll discuss that and more over the course of the next hour. ECU basketball, the men get their first conference win and also a road win on Friday at North Texas. We'll break that down. The women keep it rolling. They win yet again and can continue to contend for the top of the league. We'll break that down too. And also we'll continue our ECU baseball roster rundown. We've taken a few days off from that late last week due to some of our guests, some of our coverage, but we'll get back into that. We're doing a numerical rundown, so we'll continue that on the second half part of our show. As always, the YouTube chat is open, as is the Facebook chat, as is X, and we're live. You can catch all our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, archived there as well. All right, today's crew, we got intern Isaiah hanging out. He's helping Philip produce the show, and Philip Pilkinen is back behind the glass. Philip is rocking his Bruins hat. It's hockey season. It's NBA season. It's almost baseball season. I'm ready to turn the page, Philip. Do we really have to recap NFL Sunday?
No, we don't. This was a statement that I was making that it is on to hockey and NBA, and that's the reason I'm wearing this hat. Football is over, and so this is a statement. It's the reason why I've got it on.
Patriots, Seahawks, before we get into the championship game breakdowns, does this – I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the repeat Super Bowl matchups. I know it's completely different eras, completely different teams, but it's always good to see something new. I don't know. The Patriots, Seahawks, does that get you going at all, Philip? Are you excited about Super Bowl 60, or is this a situation where leading into the game a week or two from now, as we get closer, it'll be more real?
Yeah, I think as you get closer, it'll be a little better. Right now, it's just kind of, The nice thing about it is this is not old Patriots against old Seahawks, right? So it's Drake May. It'd be cool. He's a Charlotte kid. He's been to one Super Bowl in his life. It was in Santa Clara. It didn't go the way he wanted. Your Broncos beat mine and his Panthers. So there's that. And then, the Sam Darnold thing's fun. It's a big middle finger to David Tepper and to the terrible job that Matt Rule did and how the Panthers are the reason the Panthers are bad and it's no one else's fault the Panthers are bad. So that part of it's great. So, the good thing is I think it will be a good game. We were talking before show, we were going to pick the NFC winner to be the AFC winner regardless, but still, I like this. It's okay. It's fun. It's we said it was going to be an unpredictable playoffs, and sure enough, here we got two new teams. Yes, they've, like you said, they played back in Super Bowl 48, but that was 12 years ago, and the rosters were completely different. So, also happy for Vrabel.
Yeah, and again, I said it. They're a much more likable Patriots team, and certainly there are still some bad Pats fans out there. But look, I'll say up from the top, congratulations to the Patriots and the Seahawks. I think Denver lost it more than the Pats won, but good teams take advantage of mistakes, and they don't beat themselves. And in this particular game, the Pats did not. And I'll get more into my thoughts on the game here in a minute. We'll break down both games. Jerry in the comments says, sorry about your Broncos. Appreciate it, my man. Lane says that game was a tough watch. Unfortunately, the snow and the backup quarterback ruined it. Jerry wants to know my thoughts on not going for the field goal and then not calling a timeout so the players can clear the spot to kick a field goal in the fourth quarter. So good questions there. And Kevin says Stiddy looked like a backup yesterday. Well, everybody looked like a backup. Drake May looked terrible throwing the football. So, the conditions had a lot to do with it. I thought Stidham did fine. Look, the fumble was the one thing that you could not have from Stidham. He didn't have to go out there and play perfect, but he couldn't go out and give the other team basically a touchdown. And at that point, you just got to eat the sack if the screen isn't there. So, look, he had the big throw early. Denver, to me, I'm biased, but I thought Denver was the much better football team in the first half. despite it being 7-7 at halftime. They just looked better. And then, the second half, you credit first off the Patriots for going on the extended drive while the weather was still at least decent. But by the time the Broncos got the ball back, I mean, the game had changed completely. Like, you could not throw a pass more than 10 yards down the field realistically. The Broncos also have no running game. R.J. Harvey basically has to create everything on his own, and he's not a good between-the-tackles runner to begin with. So, like, once the game turned into a blizzard, it favored the Patriots. And I'm not trying to make excuses. That's just the reality. The Broncos have not ran the ball well since J.K. Dobbins got hurt. And so, like, when it turned into a non-passing game, even with a backup quarterback, the Broncos they couldn't scheme anything open. Obviously, struggled to kick the ball in those conditions, so they had a field goal chance, couldn't make it. But things just went against them, and they blew the opportunity in the first half to really take a 10-point lead or a 2-score lead. I said at the time, Philip and I have talked about it. Why do these coaches keep going for it on fourth down? And even as Denver called timeout and trotted the offense back on the field, and I watched on TV, I'm like, just take the points, man. The Patriots cannot drive the length of the field on you. And they certainly can't do it twice. You could have made it a 10-0 game, taking complete control. You have your backup quarterback in the game. You're also probably going off the script at that point. So, like, as the game wears on, the Patriots figure out more of what you're doing. They're probably going to stop you a little bit more. So I just thought you should take the points there. And I didn't know it would turn into a blizzard, and I still wanted them to take the points. So I don't know, Philip. I think it's always easy in hindsight, second guess. Realistically, if you get that and you go score a touchdown, you go up 14-0, you're probably in the game there. But still, man, I think Sean Payton's going to have a lot of regret with that decision.
Yeah, I was saying kick it, and Lane can vouch for that because I was with Lane. So I was saying kick it. I said it was stupid when they went for it. It was obviously a dumb play call. Look, for the Stidham thing as a whole, look, he made good throws, and he also made some throws that made him look like he hadn't taken an actual real NFL snap in 2 years. Well, guess what? He hasn't. It was a lot like that first Phillip Rivers game where it was like, hey, man, the big-time throws, they were there, and the missing open receiver. So I'm not going to blame Stidham. I mean, the Broncos were one of two teams this year who only had one quarterback attempt to pass all year. It's not like he played in 2, 3, 4 games in garbage time. It's not like Denver was blowing teams out. So that was the big part of it. I just think he looked rusty at a lot of times, which it's nobody's fault. It just is what it is. As for the question about the clear in the snow, I think they wanted to conserve the timeout. However, it's a legit question. Yeah. Let's go back to the Tuck Rule game where John Gruden tries to ice Vinatieri, and Vinatieri has been very public that the icing of him helped because they got like 5 dudes to go out there and start kicking the snow around. He's like, I had this massive, green spot, whereas earlier it was slick because Gruden called the timeout and tried to ice me. So, hindsight's 20/20 on that one. I wasn't as upset about that one in the heat of the moment because I understand you're trying to conserve your timeouts in case you do miss, which they did. But I think it's a valid question to be asked if we're upset as to why the timeout wasn't called.
I think it's a great question. Something I actually didn't even think about watching the game because they did have to kind of rush out there and they were trying to clear it. Also, Will Lutz said after the game, not that it probably mattered, but he thinks they spotted the ball a yard behind where it should have been because nobody could see like the line of scrimmage. So, and the ball was tipped, by the way. So I don't know if that would have changed anything, but Lutz thought if it was not tipped, it would have been good for whatever that's worth. I don't know. He also missed a kick at the end of the half. Not that it was easy, 54 yards, but at that point you had decent weather. I say decent, it was still, 18 degrees.
And you were going into the wind at the end of the half. So
I don't know. Look, it's just you take the field goal early, and I think that's one that's going to eat at Denver for a while. But at the end of the day, man, I didn't expect to win. As a Broncos fan, once Bo went down, I tried to manifest it. And honestly, I thought Denver was the better team going into the game. I honestly still feel that way. And that's no disrespect to the Patriots. Like, the Patriots deserve to win. They made the plays. They didn't make the mistakes. So all credit to them. They have an elite coach. Kaysen in the chat says Mike Vrabel once took Ryan Tannehill to the AFC Championship game. He is an elite coach. Like, they deserve to go. But I just thought watching the game, the Broncos were a better team. And they made the terrible mistakes to hand the Patriots the game, and great teams take advantage, so congrats to the Patriots. But knowing now that they basically gave away the game, it makes me a little sick. But going in, I didn't expect to win with Bo out. and then you get the early lead and you kind of get that hope back. But I don't know, man. It's just been a weird year. Nobody really expected the Patriots or Broncos to be to this point. I don't think either team's going to win the Super Bowl, regardless of what would have happened. Like, even Denver would have won, I wouldn't have liked their chances versus the Rams or the Seahawks. But, you know, you get to the Super Bowl, it is what it is. Crazy things can happen. So congrats to the Patriots. And the good thing about Denver is now our highest paid player, Russell Wilson, is off the books. So we can finally go. Maybe we can get a weapon for Bo Nix who can actually make some plays on these screen passes that Sean Payton can't quit calling. But anyways, that's a whole other rant I can get into. All right. Kenny says, should have taken the 3 earlier. QB wasn't good or terrible. Then you factor in the snowstorm, just didn't have enough. Game speed is different than practice, and it showed. I mean, honestly, once the blizzard started happening, I just thought the only way we score is if, like, a defender falls down and somebody's wide open. Because, I mean, you couldn't throw the ball. There was no visibility or anything. It was truly a blizzard. It's a crazy game. And also makes me think, Philip, when the Broncos have a new stadium in about 10 years, if this happens again, do they close the roof?
Probably.
And I have mixed feelings about it. Now, going into yesterday, I would have said, no, never close the roof. But if Sean Payton is your coach and you're an offensive-minded team, even though they're really good on defense, if you still can't run the ball in 2036, maybe you do close the roof. I don't know.
Yeah, I do get it. I still think football needs to be played outside, but I think the running of the ball, as much as they did, was a little head-scratching to me. Like you said, they haven't ran it well all year. And, you know, one of the things that Tom Brady has always said is he actually liked playing in the snow as a quarterback because he said, my receiver knows when he's going to cut. The defender who's guarding him has no idea when he's going to cut. He felt that they were at an advantage as long as the right plays were called, where you had the type of play where the defender was already out of his pedal, running backwards, you know, so a lot of, you know, stuff that was that breaks 10, 12, 15 yards down the field. Brady said that is an advantage to the offense. So I just wished I would have seen a few more of those plays called yesterday. And I even made a mention to that to everybody I was watching the game with, that I was hoping that Denver would maybe throw some comeback routes and some things there late in the game, even though the snow was getting really, really bad. It just seemed like you guys kept trying to run the ball and play, you know, a little too conservative.
Yeah, there was that one series they had like 3 screen passes in a row, and I guess Sean Payton just didn't feel like they could throw the ball down the field, but it was too obvious. And the other thing, the 3rd and 6 keeper on the bootleg to Drake May, that was the most obvious call in the world. I can't believe the defensive end did not keep contained there. I mean, I was calling that out on my couch before they even went to the line of scrimmage, but either way, Patriots to the Super Bowl. Congrats to them. 12th Super Bowl appearance. In the NFC Championship game, you had quite a battle between NFC West teams. Seahawks prevailed 31-27. Look, we talked about it going in. If Sam Darnold was good, it was going to be hard for them to lose. He was great. The Rams actually did a great job, especially after the first drive or two against the run. But, man, Jackson Smith and Jigba, JSN, just uncoverable. I mean, nobody could hang with them. I also loved how the Seahawks did not want to give the ball back to Stafford, and they threw the ball on the final drive, on a 3rd down, then a 2nd down.
Yeah.
And went for the win, man. That's what you have to do in these situations, and it can be risky, but I love it, man. And Stafford was incredible on that drive. Unfortunately, they could not finish it with a touchdown. He was just locked in. Like I applaud Seattle for not giving him the ball back. And ultimately for the Rams, special teams and defense, again, their Achilles heel, especially the special teams giveaway, and then the defense just could not get a stop when it mattered.
You know, I picked the Rams. You picked Seattle, and I picked the Rams because I said Sam Darnold was going to turn the football over. He didn't. I trusted Matthew Stafford not to turn the football over. He didn't turn it over either. It was that dumb one play where the dude tripped over the 5-yard line, and I guess the white line is enough to has a little turf monster living in it. He tripped. Ball hits him in the chest. Seattle falls on it. That was the difference in the game. But I'm with you, Steven. You tried to keep the ball to Stafford's hands. You did everything you could. Yeah, you finally gave it to him with 90 yards to go and no timeouts and 27 seconds or whatever it is. I mean, look, Seattle played their tails off. Seattle played the game to win, didn't play it not to lose. And, hey, those 2 teams have played 3 really, really good football games this year.
And probably the the two best teams in the league, realistically. I will say Rick Woolen did try to give the game away, though, for Seattle with the taunting. And
Yes, he did.
and then the ultimate karma of getting burned on the next play. Like that was the most football gods play of all time, man. And you can argue whether or not you should call taunting there, but like you can't go to the opposing sideline in the midst of a game and just start trash talking. And that came back to bite him. But look, Seattle, they got it done. And they go into the Super Bowl. Right now, they are 4.5-point favorites. We'll have plenty of time to break this game down. But I just think if Seattle plays this potential, it's going to be tough for the Seahawks or the Patriots, to come out with a win. But it was regardless of what happens in the Super Bowl, I think this was probably one of the more fun NFL seasons I've just being a fan of the game, Philip. Like. Just the whole playoffs, man. Like every game, it felt like outside of Seattle, San Francisco, and maybe Houston, New England came down to the final drive or two, and the regular season was chaotic. I just think the whole product, we talked about it maybe, I think it was last year we discussed the product of the NFL maybe wasn't what it has been, but I feel like this year, for whatever reason, man, like it was an awesome season.
Look at the standings on our pick'em. That's how you know, right? It's been impossible to predict. The playoffs were phenomenal, which means we're probably due for a crap Super Bowl, but it was definitely the best playoffs we've ever had, I think. I think what has happened here, and I'm not calling for expansion because the two new teams would have no fans, but the NFL hasn't expanded in over 20 years. But there's more and more talent piling in, and there's less and less teams. That's the reason there's so many good teams. That's the reason that it's not just the 1 against a 1 or 1 against a 2, which I know it is technically a 1 against a 2 this year in the Super Bowl, but it's not like we felt like, oh man, definitely teams who are the top 2 seeds are going all the way. See, the Rams go in there as a 6 or a 5 and really stood a shot. You go back to the last time the Rams made it, that was a 4 against a 4. When did the 2 4 seeds make the Super Bowl? Those are the worst seeds usually. It just shows, man, I think these rosters are getting deeper and deeper. These teams are getting better and better, and the product's getting better and better. And, man, it's exciting. And now, we'll see how game 200 and whatever goes. 283, hopefully it's a good one. Or I think it's 285. Now, I can't keep up now. They keep adding games to the playoffs. But whatever game number it is, hopefully it's as entertaining as the first 200 and some odd were.
And then shortly after that, we get, as we said earlier, hockey season. Playoffs on the way.
The Olympics, baby.
The Olympics.
Olympic hockey.
NBA playoffs. We got World Cup coming this summer.
March Madness, which, gosh, I'm so out on college basketball. But the Pirates got to win.
I know, we got to talk about that. ECU baseball around the corner. And then, guess what? Right after the Super Bowl, teams will start making free agent moves. We'll have mock drafts, and all 32, well, probably not 32, probably like 30 of the 32 fan bases will have legitimate aspirations. Everybody but the Browns and the Jets.
And the Panthers.
I mean, you guys just made the playoffs, man.
Yeah, our schedule's a gauntlet next year. They win about 5 games.
The hype machine will start, though, Philip, and that's all that matters. And everybody will get excited. All the Cowboys fans like Kenny Curlins will say, this is our year.
And Isaiah.
This is our year, baby. We finally get a stop on defense for once. Savone Revel breakout year. And that's what makes sports great, man. As Aaron says, don't forget about NASCAR. NASCAR also around the
Daytona
corner.
500. Hey, we got this weekend. There will be a NASCAR race in the state of North Carolina. It might be 20 degrees in Bowman Gray Stadium, but we got NASCAR this weekend, baby. The quest for Willie B's first championship begins this weekend.
This is why we love sports, man. And I asked myself going to bed last night, I'm like, why do we do this to ourselves? NFL, only 1 out of 32 teams every year gets to be happy at the end. But, like, when the highs come, there's nothing like it. So that's why we do it. We suffer all the pain for all the tiny glory we get. And that tiny glory goes a long ways. All right, let's get a break in. Speaking of tiny glory, the Pirate basketball team gets a win on the road in Denton, Texas. We'll break that down. Also, the women keep it rolling, too. So we'll shift gears, talk some hoops after this.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice.
Play here.
Time to play the game!
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors here. Segment 2. We've been a little long, segment 1, but hey, we only have so many more football games to recap, so we will try to do our best on that, and we will preview Super Bowl 60 in the coming weeks, coming days as well. ECU basketball. The women and men victorious in the same weekend. Both games they got in, even with the weather, had to move some things around. But Pirates get it done. And we'll start with the men breaking the streak, finding a way to get back in the win column after, I believe, losing 7 in a row. They're now 6-14 overall, 1-6 in the league. So still not good, but hey, you got to start somewhere. And North Texas is actually a decent team. Now, I think a lot of this had to do with North Texas did not look like its normal self. The game was moved up to 12 noon Central Time. There was nobody in the stands for what is typically a pretty good atmosphere in the Super Pit in Denton. ECU takes advantage of that. They get off to a good start. And really kind of an odd game. Now, North Texas does force a lot of turnovers, so you credit them. But 18 turnovers for ECU, which turnovers had been one of the team's best strengths, not turning the ball over. Yet they weren't able to make shots in recent games, and you saw those two things kind of reverse themselves. Pirates shoot 43% from the floor, 37.5% from three-point range, and 74% from the line. They also, as Coach Schwartz hit on after the game, they crushed North Texas on the glass, 43-28 rebounding advantage. 4 Pirates in double figures. Jordan Riley with 15. Dimitri Gardner, third straight game in double figures with 13. Gio Imajuru, 16 boards, 10 points for a double-double. Corey Calker scored 11 points before fouling out. All those 11 points came in the early part of the game when he hit 3 3-pointers. ECU wins it 63-59. And, look, I'll get into the standings here in a minute, but just to have a shot, we said going into this road trip, Philip, the Pirates, they needed to steal one of these two games, at Wichita or at North Texas, to have a realistic shot of clawing their way in to make the conference tournament. Is this a situation anybody wanted to be in? Absolutely not. but you still want to have a shot going into the tournament. And to have a shot, you got to be in the tournament. So at least you do get a win here, and you have some winnable games coming up. So I think at least for a little bit, the Pirates finally have at least some reason for optimism.
Yeah, I think so. Look, you went and beat a pretty solid team on their home floor. Yes, they didn't play to their capabilities, but you still won the basketball game. And I almost said the football game. You can tell. I guess I haven't moved on from football season to basketball and hockey because I still almost said win the football game. Anyways, Coach Schwartz has changed some things up lately. And I think some of the things he's changed up have gotten the best out of some of his players. Corey Cocker looks a lot better playing off the ball than he does on the ball. He's still the point guard if it's a transition, if it's a missed basket, but on a made basket, when they're running a slower half-court offense, it's Jordan Riley. And it seems like this is opening up Corey Cocker's game. So this Pirate basketball team and this Pirate philosophy is maybe better than the one that was struggling early in the season. Is it still going to be an uphill climb to make the conference tournament? Absolutely. However, now you don't have that pressure anymore. Because there was going to be pressure going into this home game against Rice. There was going to be pressure if you then lost that. Then when you played UTSA going, when's that first win coming? Are we going to win a game? Now the pressure's uplifted. There's no pressure on your shoulders anymore. You can go out there. You can play with reckless abandon. You can do what you've done the last few games. And hopefully it works. And hopefully, Rice is winnable. A couple UTSA games winnable. And you still won more. You're looking at, 5-6 conference wins, and then, maybe you do sneak into the conference tournament.
The Pirates, looking at the standings, so in last place is UTSA at 0-8. The Pirates are 1-6. Next to last, Rice is a game above them at 2-5, and this is the first of two meetings against the Owls. So as of today, all of those teams would be out of the tournament regardless. So if you lose to Rice on Wednesday, the path just becomes that much tougher. So 7 p.m. tip-off on Wednesday inside Minges Coliseum, Pirates and Owls. Now, above them, you have three teams at 3-4 in the league, a game above Rice. So ECU is 2 games behind these three teams, North Texas, Tulane, UAB. The Pirates have obviously already lost to Tulane and UAB, so you don't have a head-to-head there. They have beaten North Texas. So your most realistic path to make the tournament is probably leaping Rice and North Texas. And from what I saw from North Texas, I mean, if they play like that or anything close to that down the stretch, they're not going to win very many basketball games. So that is the only meeting between ECU and North Texas this season in basketball. So you have that head-to-head. You will continue to have that head-to-head. You've got 4 games left with Rice and UTSA combined. That's 4 winnable games. And we talked about it. You could also have a chance to steal one, versus a Wichita, versus a Memphis or a Tulsa. Memphis, by the way, they're now 9-10 overall, 4-3 in the league, 1-6 away from home. So they're having quite an awful year. Granted, tough schedule. But I did see a column the other day blaming the conference for why Memphis basketball has fallen off. And I'm like, how about winning the conference first? This terrible conference that you're going to blame for your fall off, you guys can't even win it. I mean, you can't even finish in the top half this year, maybe. So get out of here with that, man. Maybe we should start blaming the conference for ECU's
I guess.
basketball struggles.
I don't hear Mark Few complaining about the West Coast Conference. Now, St. Mary's and San Francisco are probably better than some of the second, third best team in our conference, but there's been years they're not. You hear Gonzaga complaining? Do you hear Murray State when they're the best team in the Missouri Valley or the Ohio Valley, whatever the heck they're in by far? You hear them complaining? No.
Just go out and win the league. Yeah. It's kind of like ECU baseball. I know last year was a down year in the league, we complain about it sometimes, but we don't say, hey, this is the reason why ECU baseball is not reaching Omaha. So I don't know, man. I thought that was whack. John Moody in the chat, he had Pirates money line on Friday. He says, never a doubt. And Kaysen says, 1 step closer to the bubble, to the conference tournament bubble, indeed. So Pirates get a win again, big game. I think if they beat Rice on Wednesday, I'm not going to say they've turned the corner or anything crazy like that. I think that would be silly, but at least we could start realistically talking about a path to making the conference tournament. If you lose that game, your chances are really slim to none, even with a lot of games left. So that's a big game still Wednesday against the Rice Owls at home. All right, on the women's side, Kim McNeil's squad is absolutely rolling. In the past, it has been the defense. We talked about it with her last week. This year, they're actually playing better defense of late too. But this year, it's the offense, man. They are just steamrolling teams, scoring at a high rate. They go to UAB, win 87-61. Anzane Hutton, who did not play in the first game against the Blazers, she scored 21 points with 7 boards. You also had Kiana Rambert get 17 points, 5 boards, so the Pirates used their size to their advantage. Jayla Earp got 17 points, and then Taylor Barner, 3 for 3 from three-point range. The ladies fill up 10 of 18 from three-point range, 55.6%, 50% from the floor, 87 points. They're just shooting the eyes out right now.
They are. They're shooting the ball, and it's coming from different players. And not only is the shooting coming from different players, the scoring in general is coming from different players. You mentioned Ajane scoring a lot of points. You know, she was injured, as you mentioned there at the very beginning of conference play. In her first couple games back, she looked like a player kind of playing her first couple games back. Not that there's anything wrong with it. She just hadn't found her mojo again. And there were other players putting up these numbers. Jayla Herp, who, you know, was capable of this prior to her ACL injury, didn't really show this last year. I think she was still her body just didn't quite feel right coming off that ACL. And now this is back to the Jayla Herp that we know she can be. Like, there are a multitude of players on this roster that can score. And on one given night, if somebody's having a crap night, it doesn't matter because somebody else is going to fill in those shoes. They're scoring in the half court. They can score in transition, maybe not as well as they used to, but they don't have to. And like you said, they're shooting the rock and they're shooting it well. And, you know, you didn't even mention Savannah Brooks in that, and she's been one of the better shooters on the team all year. So it just shows, man, that Kim McNeil has truthfully built a program. She is now learning how to attack the portal. I think that was why she maybe had a down year or two there. It was just that transition into the portal didn't go as well for her as she'd hoped, and now she's figured it out, and she's right back to the coach that she always was, if not even better. And, man, come out tomorrow night. Watch them take on the Shockers, and if you can't, catch it right here on 94.3 The Game with PJ.
94.3, it'll be 6 o'clock tip-off. Wichita State, so the schedule ahead for the women. Wichita State at home, they took care of on the road earlier this season. They go to Charlotte, always a tough in-state game, but a winnable game. South Florida at home on February 4th. That'll be a big game. The Bulls always have a good program. They are 5-3 in the league right now. Then ECU goes on the road to Tulane, Temple, FAU at home. All those teams in the bottom to lower half. Again, no easy games in league play, but still winnable games. And then the big one way, way ahead down the road. But Rice on, I believe it is Saturday, February 21st. That could be a massive game. Rice right now in the women's basketball standings 7-0, 17-3 at home, or 17-3 overall, 7-0 in the league. That is the only matchup between ECU and Rice this year. So we could have a scenario, depending on what happens, that could be a massive game. But until then, you've got 6 games to go. So a lot of contests to be played, but just giving people a heads up. Come out on Tuesday, support the ladies against the Shockers. And that South Florida game will be big as well, but then that Rice game looming down the road. So a lot of fun basketball ahead for Kim McNeil's squad. Kenny in the chat says she's got it rolling. They're on fire. And on the men, he says maybe an 8-win team at best. Sorry, but this team doesn't need to waste the money to travel to a tournament to get beat. It's time to start figuring out what John Gilbert's next move is. And, hey, I have no problem with that take. It's still been a disappointing season regardless of the win. But we'll continue to see how the next few weeks unfold for the Pirates. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. Baseball, man, we're getting close to that as well. Pirate baseball just a little over 2 weeks, a little under 3 weeks away from the February 13th opener against Xavier. We'll continue on our roster rundown after this.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Get ready to board.
We're live with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game. Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
Welcome back in. Hoist the Colors here, segment 3. Philip Pilkington hanging out. Intern Isaiah as well. Already looking forward to next year's Cowboys season. I just got this text from the Bucks on the Pond crew, Scott Lorbatcher and Jonathan Wagner. ECU Athletics put out a tweet. Valentine's Day is coming up. Win a romantic dinner for two in a suite at Dowdy Ficklin. Earrings by Sylvie from Reed's Jewelers, $150 to UB, and dinner provided by Nino's. Presented by Reed's Jewelers. Reed's Jewelers. If I could talk today. So, should I try to enter for this, Philip? And do you want to go? Me and you, man.
Oh, so we're just kicking Erica to the curb. You're kicking Erica to the curb.
I don't think Erica will take the jewelry and the $150 UB. Scott Lorbatcher and Wags already said that they want to go on behalf of Bucks on the Pond. So I don't know. I don't know if Erica would want to go for a Town Bake Tower meal.
So we'll go to the baseball game that day, and then we'll have a double date after, you and me, Wags and Scott. I like it.
There you go. Let's do it. I think Erica is running a marathon that weekend as well, so she will be out of town. She's running in Oak Island. So.
Oh, okay. Wow, so she really did catch the runner's high. Her last marathon was in October, and already another one in February. Good for her. That's a pretty quick turnaround, 4 months.
Going on a roll right now. She is on a roll, and props to her. She's doing her thing.
Is this going to be Boston 2027?
She's going to apply for the New York Marathon, which is very hard to get in. I think she is going to apply for Boston eventually, but obviously you need some. I guess the better times you run and the more things you have in your disposal, the better chance you get in.
So New York, there is you can qualify for New York, but you've got to be really, really good, darn near a professional, and then there's a lottery system. Other than that, Boston, the only way you can get in is qualifying. Now, there are amateurs that can do it. You still got to be a pretty decent amateur, but most of the people running are qualified. Now, you can raise enough money for a charity and get in if you're running for a charity, but yeah, she would have to run, I want to say a 345 or 350 based off her age, I think, to get into Boston.
Yeah.
And she ran that this year. She could register in September for next year's Boston. So
there you go. Well, she's improving her time. She's doing a great job. So we'll see what she runs in Oak Island. And Kenny said he's entered, so maybe we'll see Kenny there.
There we go.
In the romantic dinner suite. I am curious too. Like, are they going to fill up every suite with a romantic dinner, or is it just one? Anyways, all right. On to ECU baseball. Hey, credit ECU Athletics for the unique opportunity. I'm all for using the tower for as much as possible, given all the money they spent on it. All right, ECU baseball. We're doing our roster rundown again. Opening day in cohesion with that opportunity. It'll be February 13th, Valentine's Day weekend. We've been running down the roster, looking ahead to the season. We are on number 10. Number 10 is Colby Wallace, one of the team's leaders, one of the more high-profile players. Given his contributions the last 2 years, a year ago started all 62 games on the season, and he made 13 appearances on the mound. Hit .269 with 10 home runs, 10 doubles, 42 RBI, 20 walks. Pitching numbers weren't great, but those were due to a couple of bad outings. I think he's a guy who could help you on the mound this season, but more or less will be your starting third baseman. Colby Wallace really kind of shook off a slow start. First off, he plays a phenomenal third base that can't go undervalued. I thought he was pressing a little bit at the beginning of the year with his swing decisions, swinging outside the zone a lot. He ended the year with 48 Ks against 20 walks. You want to see that even up a little bit, maybe see the on-base percentage creep up. But he's going to hit for power, and he's going to play good defense, and I think he can go to the next level with his bat with a little bit better plate approach, Phillip. But no doubt one of your cornerstone players for the Pirates this season.
Yeah, he's going to be one of the guys that he's going to be really good if this team is really good. But, I'm not trying to blame other people. Colby can only answer for Colby, but sometimes you wonder with Colby, was it one of those things where the lineup was struggling? He had not been on a bad Pirate team before. I mean, bad by East Carolina standards, and he felt like kind of put the weight of the world on his shoulders, kind of how I felt early in the season. Like, he was like, man, we're struggling, so how can I go out there and change it with one swing of the bat? Is how I viewed it. And look, that happens. There's nothing wrong with it. I understand it. When you're 20 years old, there's mistakes you make, mistakes you learn from. I think he learned from it midway through the season, and I think he'll be back to the Colby Wallace we all know he can be.
And you've seen him mature. He looks like, compared to, media day this year compared to last year, I thought he just felt much more comfortable. He's a year older. He's kind of used to being in the spotlight now, so I agree. I think last year is going to help him a lot, and I think he'll be a big key. And I do wonder where he starts, because he can hit in the middle of the order. He could hit in the bottom half of the order and be very effective. So I'm curious where he starts in the batting order, where they found the optimal spot for Colby Wallace. And I think, too, 10 homers, I think he's got 15, 20 homer potential if he can just, be a little bit more patient at the plate waiting for his pitch, because he's got big-time power. All right, number 11, Alex Peltier. I'm still not sure if it's Peltier or Peltier. Like, I think Cliff called him Peltier.
I know, and I always thought it was Peltier. I called him Peltier off the jump last year, and I was told it was Peltier.
Let's just go with Peltier for now.
Yeah, we're going with Peltier until Val, I guess, tells us differently.
Second-year player from Haymarket, Virginia, which has been a very successful area for ECU baseball players historically. Last year, you look at the numbers, 211, 6 doubles, 2 homers, 12 RBI, 47 strikeouts, 16 walks. Another guy who struggled with swing and miss at times. But if you watch the games, you could see the tools. Good defensively in center field, really good throwing arm, and 6 doubles, 2 homers doesn't jump out, but if you watch him take BP and if you watch him when he connects with the baseball, he's got some pop in his bat. So, he's now a year stronger. The one thing we know with a Cliff Godwin-led program, Phil, these guys, they are going to develop physically, mentally. I'm not saying he's going to be the everyday center fielder, but I'd be very surprised if Peltier didn't make a pretty big leap this year. It's just I'm unsure what his role is going to be given the – we're going to preview Grady Lanahan in a minute, standout freshman talent. Jeff Sabater can play center. And I just don't know where exactly he fits, but I'm expecting a jump from Alex this year.
Cliff says it. Cliff doesn't make the lineup. The players do. Peltier has got what it takes to be in that lineup. There are other guys that have what it takes to be in that lineup. Who's going to emerge? Who's going to be the everyday center fielder? We don't know. I think if he's your every guy, you're not in a bad spot. As long as he takes a jump up from next year, which he's definitely going to do. He's got the wheels. Even if he's not your everyday center fielder, he will be a part of this roster every week. He will make the travel roster. He will see playing time, I think, every weekend, whether it be a late defensive sub, whether he gets a spot start here and there. Look, this is a name that, he's gonna have his moments throughout the year, and we're gonna see just how many of those come, and a lot of it's gonna come down to, like I said, how much well can he beat out the other guys that are fighting for that spot.
Our final player preview for today is the standout freshman who is competing with Peltier for a spot, Grady Linehan, outfielder from Bristow, Virginia. Attended Pro 5 Academy to close his prep career. Really good prospect. Can run, can hit for power. He had a home run off Ethan Norby in inter squads this weekend. Right-handed hitter. And again, I don't want to put too much on a freshman's shoulders, but I'm hearing really good things. And that the leap from the practice field, even from the fall to the spring, can be tough. The good news is Linehan had a great fall. Sounds like he's having a good start to the spring. And now he's got to make that leap to, all right, once the games begin, are the lights too bright? Does he rise even more on that occasion? I mean, these are just things we don't know with freshmen. Last year with Braden Burris, he had a really good offseason, even with a wrist injury. Struggled a little bit to begin the year, then found his rhythm. So, I think Grady Linehan has got too much talent not to play, not to get a pretty extended run at some point this season. It's just, does it happen right off the bat? Does it take a few weeks, a few months? I just don't know with a freshman, but really, really high on this young man. Everything I'm hearing, mentality, work ethic, talent, sounds like he'll fit great in the Cliff Godwin program.
Yeah, man, if there's going to be a freshman who sees a lot of extended playing time, he's it. This is the high-profile recruit that's coming in. This is the guy that all the eyes are going to be turned to, the one that, could be the next big-time Pirate. So, look, it's a stacked outfield. The good thing about this is he will not be handed a starting job. He's not coming in going, this team sucks. You got to turn it around, buddy. He's going to have to go out there and earn it. He wants to play. There's playing time to be had, but he's got to earn it, and that'll make him a better player. It'll make him a better competitor, and it'll make him it'll show him, what it takes to be a Pirate and play in Cliff Godwin's program.
There is your player profile on Grady Linehan. Again, 18 days away. ECU baseball opening the season against Xavier inside Clark LeClaire Stadium, and it'll be here before you know it. We'll continue our roster rundown. We've made it all the way down to number 12. We'll continue that in the days ahead. Let's get our final break in. We'll come back. We will wrap up the show after this.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today.
Loyal and bold with the purple and gold.
Yo ho ho!
And we're back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
A couple news and notes before we get out of here on a Monday. Tomorrow we're going to have Kaysen Romeli join us once again. On Tuesday we'll talk some college baseball, college hoops, and more. We'll have to start looking around into the college hoops landscape, so we may do that a little bit tomorrow as we get deeper into conference play. Davy Jones says 8 more months till September. I already missed college football. I agree, Davy. It always goes by too quickly. I will say this, though. Starting at some point this week, we will start to really dive into each position, expectations for transfers. I'll come up with some sort of format to do that as well on each show, just so we can have a little bit of football coverage every week. It is a long off season, but looking forward to that as well. All right, speaking of college football, we haven't really had a chance to talk about it on this show, but the CFP College Football Playoff will remain a 12-team field next season. This quote from CFP Executive Director Rich Clark: after ongoing discussion about the 12-team playoff format, the decision was made to continue with the current structure. This will give the management committee additional time to review the 12-team format so they can better assess the need for potential change. While they all agree the current format has brought more excitement to college football and has given more schools a real shot in the postseason, another year of evaluation will be helpful. So, look, I think this thing is still going at some point in the near future to 16 or 24, but staying at 12 was the expected result for the coming season. It still leaves a school like ECU with a path to the playoff, the highest-ranked champion of what will now be the new Group of Five, for lack of a better term, with the Pac-12 thrown in there. The highest-ranked champion, most likely from the Pac-12 or the American, potentially the Sun Belt, potentially CUSA, I guess potentially the MAC as well. The highest champion from those conferences in 2026 will still make the playoff. We unlikely will see another scenario where Tulane and JMU both make the playoff, because starting next year, Notre Dame gets in at their top 12, and then I believe the ACC champion, no matter how low ranked, gets in.
Yeah, I think they said that all the 4 major conferences champions will get in, and then
which is trash, by the way.
It is, but hopefully the ACC will change their tiebreaker situations, and that would have been a championship game between 16 Virginia and number 10 Miami, and then a little more of a true champion.
So hopefully that is the case. They are changing their championship game to 12 noon on Saturday. That was just announced as well. So no more night games in the bank when it's freezing cold, Philip, for you.
Good. All 3 of them that I've been to there have been really bad cold.
Yeah. So I assume the Americans staying with the Friday night format, although I did see another league go to Friday night. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. So there's your college football notes, and we'll have more as it comes out as the offseason progresses. Final note here, random, if you're a video game guy like myself, not as much as I had kids, but I still like playing MLB The Show, one of my favorite games. They put out a statement this morning. Quote, "We know that you are all just as excited as we are for the release of MLB The Show 26, so we wanted to let everyone know that this year we have decided that we will not have a new cover athlete. Please stay tuned for all of our social channels for more information." So I don't know if that means they're bringing back Aaron Judge, if they're going to have another throwback year like they had King Griffey Jr. on the front one year. But, there was that weird year they had Jazz Chisholm on the front, and he kind of flamed out with the Marlins that season. So I don't know who they could go to, but I'm not a big fan of the repeat cover athlete, whether it's Madden, the show. Unless you're going to go historical, which sometimes can be cool. I'm a fan of highlighting the current players.
George Herman Ruth.
Babe Ruth?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. They do go into the nostalgia with the Diamond Dynasty stuff and all that. So maybe they'll make it cool. Maybe they just do a group of some of the standout players they've done for some sort of nostalgia throwback. So there's your MLB The Show update. By the way, if you want to battle online, let me know if you're trying to lose. Although I should probably brush up on my skills a little bit. All right, we got to get out of here. It's been a fun Monday show. We will be back tomorrow. Case and Romali on Tuesday. We'll talk a little bit of everything once again. Super Bowl preview, college baseball on the way, college hoops as well, some ECU football. See you then on Hoist the Colors.